one year I just asked him, do you know how to MC an event? His wife said, no, he doesn't know how to MC an event.
I can confirm that he has been given many scripts, and he usually does his own script, but they're better than what could ever be written for him. Let's be clear.
Yeah, he did forget to introduce me one year.
Oh, yeah, that was funny. He went to sit down. He was like, all right, now you guys have dinner. Like, no, that's not what's happening.
Yeah,
and you
the
also
stage is
need
empty.
to introduce Brad. And he's like, oh, right. But he's so good. He just made it seem like it was part of the show.
Welcome to Beats Working, winning the game of events, where we share stories and strategies to turn any event or life moment into something unforgettable.
Events are wild, and the people who work in them are some of the most resilient humans on earth. If you know, you know.
So come with us behind the curtain for a look at their most memorable experiences.
As they say, the show must go on, so let's get on with the show. Welcome to Beats Working, winning the game of events. Today, we are so excited because we have one of our very favorite people on the show. Brad Brotherton is the fourth generation owner of Brotherton Cadillac and Brotherton Buick GMC in Renton and Brotherton Cadillac Northwest in Shoreline. He's proudly carrying forward a family legacy that's built on more than just selling cars, very good cars, by the way. The family legacy is really about making a difference. And since taking over in 2005, Brad has embedded community into the DNA of his dealerships. It was always there, but he has just made it something that they truly live and breathe year round. From running ad campaigns for nonprofits to creating meaningful events that raise millions for causes close to his heart. After his dad's battle with cancer, Brad was inspired to give back in the biggest way he could think of. He's the driving force behind the annual event, Celebrity Stakeout. It's a grassroots community fundraiser that's raised millions for Fred Hutch and its mission to advance cancer research. They have deep ties to the Seattle region and a passion for philanthropy. Brad and the Brothertons are always using their business as a force for good. And I think that everyone can attest when they hear this. Brad leads with heart, hustle, and horsepower. Car puns.
Car puns.
Nice.
The
Brad?
crowd goes wild.
Nice.
Oh, so happy
Sweet.
to have
Thank you
here.
for such a very nice introduction. Thank you so much. Yeah, that was awesome.
I'm an
I don't have a
FOB. I've been an FOB for a long time. Yeah.
FOB, friend of Brad. We have stickers.
That's it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's we created that. That was and we use it today. We still use the term FOB today. It's written in our logbook. So when I come in the morning and I look at who's come in there, it'll say, walk in, internet lead, phone call, FOB. So it's pretty cool.
Yes.
All these years later.
I always skip the desk. I just go straight upstairs. But if they saw me, I hope they'd write FOB or CSO.
I get a text. Libby's here.
Oh, yeah.
I know. She's sitting in my office.
Get her out of my office. Get her out of here. Okay, so Brad, tell us about when you decided to launch Celebrity Stakeout. Alysse and I were both there at the time. I was not working with you closely, but Alysse was.
Yeah.
So what inspired the idea? And let's talk about what that early planning phase looked like.
Awesome. Well, I would have to go back in time, right? So I was on the board of the Moyer Foundation for several years, and in Brotherton Forum, I typically kind of overstay. So I was on the board, I think, for 9 years. It's a 3-year role, and I was there for 9 years. But they had an event called Catch a Cure for Cancer that they would run every summer, and it was a grassroots campaign, kids selling lemonade stands and donating the money to charity or whatever. It was really a grassroots effort with the benefits going to the Hutch. And so we would do a campaign at the dealership where customers would buy cars, and if they donated $100, we'd match the donation. If they donated $50, whatever it was. And that was kind of what it was at the time was Catch a Cure for Cancer. And so Karen Moyer and I had done some TV campaigns to promote it, and it would raise about $60,000 a summer. It was just fun. It was fun to see the community get together and do these, kind of special grassroots events. Fast forward, my dad got diagnosed with cancer And I had called Karen and said, who do we go see? He's got a diagnosis. He's at this other hospital. And she said, see this person, talk to this person, and at the Hutch. And so he was being treated at the Hutch, and he was a gregarious, outgoing individual. He had a big personality, and I kind of wherever he went, he'd leave an impact. And he was a regular at Morton's Steakhouse in downtown Seattle. And so the people at Morton's were like, we're devastated that your dad has cancer. Oh no, I got to back up. So we've turned Catch a Cure into Brotherton Family Fun Fest.
Oh,
that was first. Yeah,
music to Alysse's ears.
Oh my God, yeah. And so we have 3 acres across the street where we display all our cars, and so we've got 500 cars out there, and we got this crazy idea to bring in bouncy houses and clowns and
dunk tanks.
Oh,
I know, because I worked the dunk tank. Yeah, I remember very well. Yes.
I did the dunk tank.
Yes,
I was in the dunk tank.
I think that's when it made the most money, quite honestly.
My kids were the ones who dunked.
Yeah, they were very excited.
Yes.
They were so little then too. They were little.
I have the cover. Do you want me to go get it? Like the with Chaz spinning the wheel?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there it is.
Oh, that's cute. Mm-hmm. Was that the ad?
I think so.
It was, and that's Connie in the background, I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, that is Connie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, there's Chazzle.
Little Chaz. Little Chazzle.
So little.
Yeah.
Such a sweetie.
Yeah, I can still feel the burn on my shoulders, the Brotherton burn from that day sitting in the parking lot for hours.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Mine was from the neck up. Hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you started Brotherton Family Fun Fest, and as we have heard from the Brotherton burn, you guys loved that event, but maybe wanted to try something different.
And inside.
Because it was summertime. Actually, the fun thing was we had the parking lot. And we would bus people in from the bus. Do you remember the bus driver?
I do.
I think the bus had a pole in it. He would drive people, drop people off, and so we had tons of kids here because it was just like squirt guns and clowns and all that stuff. And as kids would leave, they would say, "Mr. Brotherton, that's the best birthday party ever." It's like, wasn't my birthday.
Not my birthday.
So
close.
But we raised some money, which was great. And then, so, Dad has cancer and everybody kind of knows he's got it. And he was a regular at Morton's. And so the folks at Morton's had approached me and said, we want to do something. We just don't know what to do. We feel terrible. And I said, I have this thing, this, Brotherton Family Fun Fest, Catch a Cure for Cancer. And the Moyer Foundation had a celebrity waiters years ago at Union Square Grill. And I said, I have this property, would you guys be willing to host the event? And we're just trying to raise money for cancer research at the Hutch. And so it's got to not cost us anything. And so Michael Henke, you guys all remember Michael reached out to the people at Morton's and said, we're going to charge you for everything but the steaks. We're going to not charge you for everything but the steak. So the steak is the only thing that we can't comp. And the wait staff was generous with their labor. And it was just they all rallied around it. So I approached our staff and said, hey, the Mortons has offered to do this off property. And they were like, yes, get it out of here.
We support that.
We support the decision. And so it was birthed there. So I came to you, Alysse, and said, how do we do this thing? And it turned into, wasn't Married with Rock there that first year? Duff and Susan?
I think that was the second year, but your dad was there the first year.
Oh, that's right. Dad was there the first year. Yep.
Yeah.
Biff was there.
Which was really
So we did Mario's. Yeah, so we did Mario's upstairs, had the silent auction upstairs, and then had the dinner downstairs. And so, I remember that. Yeah, my dad, he was not well, but he was happy. He felt really honored to have that event around him, and everybody really got to kind of put their hands on him and I don't know, just it was cool.
Love
It
him.
was a cool.
Yeah.
It was a great night.
Yeah.
What's so cool about Celebrity Stakeout, I think, is that you're not a traditional event planner, and but
No.
you're
No.
good at it, but it's not technically in your bio.
Mm.
But this event was really just something that was born out of just this deep love that people have, had and have for you and for your dad, and the support that the Brothertons give the community was really something that people wanted to give back to you. So it just was I just think that that's a really cool way for a bunch of people to come together and we don't really know how to do this, but we're going to do it. And just because we want to support each other.
But it's probably the coolest part is the amount of people that say yes, that they want to be a part of it, and that they continue to support it every year. And it's just really it makes you feel good that people want to get together and make a difference. And this event is one of those things that really gets people close to the researchers and the scientists and the story. I mean, I remember years ago, Steve Rabel, I was at an event, and Steve Rabel said, "Who in here hasn't been touched by cancer?" And I really had never had a cancer experience, where it was close to me. And, I think everybody has now. I think we've all been touched by it. And, it could be an age thing. It could be a environmental thing. It could be, where we live. I don't know. But it's, everybody really wants to make a difference. In the early years, we'd have a scientist speak at the event, and we still do. But people would say, I was in my hairdresser and they were talking about this rare form of blood cancer that her dad has. And I introduced them to the Hutch, and Hutch has cured them. Right. And so it's that kind of connection that's super cool, in this area and at an event like this.
Well, and one of the things I'll say about having attended the event many, many, many times, not every single one, but a lot of them, is you can feel it in the room. You can feel the energy, you can feel the love. And while you might, it's clear that a lot of people there know each other, you could come in as an outsider and be just engulfed in the love and in the vibe and in the fun. It is one of the funnest fundraising dinners that happens throughout the year. And I can say that because I've been to almost all of them at some point. And this one is by far the funnest. I mean, people are just truly having fun. Sometimes too much fun, but a lot of fun. Only the years where there was the ice luge thing in the back room.
Oh,
yeah.
The vodka luge.
The vodka luge. That was it. Yeah.
Was that a 1 year? That was a 1 year thing,
I think that was only a 1 year thing, but that was super fun. Super fun.
Yeah, I agree. It's, the meal started with, that was Dad's favorite meal at Morton Steakhouse, right? So it was a big piece of tenderloin. It was a big piece of broccoli and a baked potato. And it's evolved a little bit, but we still want that luxury meal. Because I've been to a couple of events where we, got dropped off by a driver, and I sent him to go get Dick's Burgers for the after dinner because it was just a teeny tiny little,
rubber
I was
chicken.
How that was a salad?
It was an appetizer.
Yeah, it was like sprouts wrapped in a piece of cucumber. And I was like, is that the moosh moosh? They're like, oh, that's your salad. It's like, I'm a hungry guy.
Dinner.
Yeah, so Dick's Deluxe is satiated the table. So I don't want any of that. We don't want that at our event. We really want our event to stand out as you get your money's worth, and then the activity and the fun part of it as well. I mean, there's just a really great energy. And again, it's one of those things where we have celebrities pour wine and help serve, and having that element it adds to the event and the energy of the event, because they're really great people that, again, just say yes because of the nature of the event, and then what the Hutch does in our community for our community. And so it's just awesome to get that kind of support.
And it was super awesome. You mentioned it a little bit before, but the year that Duff McKagan's wife was filming a reality TV show, and the E! Channel contacted us and asked if they could film at the event. And like, we talked about it. We were like, I don't know, and everybody was going to have to sign a form. And we're like, oh, the paperwork, like, is it worth it? And then after the fact, you're like, we're going to have a film crew at every event. This was amazing. It was fun. So fun.
That was wild.
So fun.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, it made it unique and added to the energy. It was awesome. Yeah.
There's always something interesting on event day at Celebrity Stakeout. Always something interesting. And for the last few years, John Curley's been the auctioneer always. He's always been the auctioneer. But the last few years, our MC has been local homeboy Joel McHale.
Yeah. Yep. Joel's another guy.
Mercer Island.
Yeah. Islanders, go Islanders. Joel and I went to high school together, and he had donated a couple of auction items, a meet and greet, or go out be on the set of Community, or the soup. The soup was one. We stayed friends, post high school, and so we had this connection of doing that. And then one year, I just asked him, do you know how to MC an event? His wife said, no, he doesn't know how to MC an event.
I can confirm that he has been given many scripts, and he usually does his own script, but they're better than what could ever be written for him. Let's be clear.
Yeah, he did forget to introduce me one year.
Oh yeah, that was funny. He went to sit down. He was like, all right, now you guys have dinner. Like, no, that's not what's happening.
Yeah,
and you also
the stage is empty.
To introduce Brad. And he's like, oh, right. But he's so good. He just made it seem like it was part of the show.
Yeah, it was great.
Well, and there were many years that he had to do a video coming in because he was off-site filming something and wasn't able to be on location.
He would pitch his auction item, and he was always clever and funny. Yeah. And then John Curley obviously is the auctioneer. Tremendous amount of energy, and those guys they feed off each other in a way that.
I mean, it's an entertainment show, for sure. For sure. And it's back at the Paramount in Seattle this year, the historic Paramount Theater, which I think is very fitting when you're watching Joel and John together. It's a show.
Yeah.
It's a show. Yeah.
So the Paramount part. So we support Broadway at the Paramount. So we're it's kind of part of our arts support in the business. And so when we negotiated our deal with them, we said we want the use of the space at no charge. And so with the idea that if the dates would line up, we'd have this incredible event space. And so the line item for the event space isn't something we have to raise money for. So it's, again, trying to reduce our expenses so we can raise more money for the researchers and cancer researchers at Hutch. So leveraging those relationships has always been really important.
Brad, what does it feel like year after year to walk into this event? You've done all the prep. You've done the hours and hours and hours of phone calls and meetings with Libby. And then you walk in and, you and Amy are dressed to the nines. She's probably laid out the outfits. And you walk in and you just see all these people showing up for this cause year after year. How does that make you feel?
Well, I think walking in with Amy is, it's the play. You see everybody kind of putting everything together. Libby's got her clipboard.
I'm in leggings. I'm sweating.
Clipboard.
They're like, are you going to change or like what?
She doesn't have her dress on yet.
Nope.
And so, Amy and I walk in and we kind of take it in. And we try and get a photo together because it's, as it starts to get busy, we start seeing our friends, and we start to become, the event people, so to speak. But it's, I think every year I worry that no one's going to show up, and so I worry that there's traffic or a storm or a Mariner game or, something that's going to, in the way of people getting there. And so as people start to show up, I go, oh, okay, good. They're here, and it's just really, as more and more people show up, this energy that I get to feed off of, it's really special. And so it's a real warm feeling, and we feel just blessed that we have the kind of support to do something like this. And so it's just kind of reaffirms all the energy, as you said, the calls and the hours and hours that are spent thinking up auction items and thinking who should come, and asking partners for sponsorship, and and making sure that we're delivering a good event, and that people see it as fresh and interesting, and that they want to come back to every year. I mean, that's Amy and I talk about that all the time. We really want it to be an event that people want to come to every year, and so we want to make things different and fresh, and so that's one of the cool things. And so as people show up, it makes you feel like, okay, we did a good job, and then the energy of the night is lights out. It's really a lot of fun.
After the event is over, I mean, you just spoke a little bit to how you measure. How do you measure the
Are we
success?
talking
like right
so it's 3 a.m.
Day.
No,
How do you measure the success of this event? So, I mean, yes, having people want to come back, that's totally something, but is that what the measure of a success is, that people actually come back next year? Or is it that you guys have a boat day in Burgermaster the next day? I mean, that's
a personal success, like the Burgermaster after that. That's like the reward in the end, is the Burgermaster and fries.
Delish.
Taking the day off. Stakeouts ruined a lot of following days, so to speak, so it used to be this year we're on a Wednesday night, but it was on Tuesdays, and we'd say, well, stakeout can ruin a lot of Wednesdays. So
rest of the week, we're just hanging on. I do think one of my favorite parts about Celebrity Stakeout is talking to you and Amy on speakerphone the next day and sharing funny stories and
there's a lot
our
of
memories of the night before, and just that's one of my measures of success. If we have a good conference call where we're sharing good things, not oh no, what did we do?
I don't think we've had the what did we do. I mean, there's been little moments. Yeah, there's been little moments, but no, I think that the years have been good, and I think the giggle conversations afterwards are fun. And so it's a lot of fun. So you asked me how I measure its success. I don't go in with high expectations. My expectations are that if we put on a fun event and everybody's happy and there's no drama, then it's successful. And then the event should take care of the fundraising piece. Nobody's job's on the line if it doesn't yield $500,000 or something like that for cancer research. So, but that's, I think if there's a goal, it's we want to raise as much money as we can for the researchers so that we can, make it easier for a family going through cancer, or create another survivor, or, create the cure for cancer is the ultimate goal. And, that's certainly part of the conversation we have when we talk to the people that we're going to be supporting and raising money for is, when they say that they believe that the cure for cancer lies within the cure for multiple myeloma, because multiple myeloma is incurable, but they've been able to do so much with multiple myeloma as far as extending the lives of the people that are being treated, that there may be a cure for multiple myeloma, soon. And, our first stakeout, we raised money for CAR T-cell research. Damian Green was our scientist. That CAR T-cell that we funded then, which would have saved my dad if it were available. It was only in mice at the time, or the only testing mice in the time. One of our speakers 6 or 7 years ago was cured of his multiple myeloma by having the CAR T-cell research. So, the stuff we're doing is creating a real impact for cancer patients and cancer survivors. And that's an objective that I see us as being successful. That's a measurement saying, okay, we're doing really good stuff.
Yeah.
So
that was a really cool full circle moment.
Yeah. It's a feel good thing. Yeah.
I think a lot of people probably share this with us. I also lost my dad to cancer, and he had esophageal cancer. And even just, in the last, 10 years, they've made the things that they thought they could do maybe when he had it, they're definitely doing now. And it's really saving people's lives. And I agree that is one really fulfilling thing about doing events that benefit Fred Hutch, is that, my dad couldn't be saved. And, your dad was definitely given time to be with his people and to keep living his life. But, he couldn't be saved at the time either. But our hope is that in the future, other dads get to stick around longer with their kids and their family and their friends.
No doubt. Yeah, no doubt. If you're diagnosed with multiple myeloma today, it's not a death sentence. It's there are treatments that can put multiple myeloma in what's called smoldering myeloma. So you still have it because it's not curable, but you can live your life. So there's and that's work that's being done at the Hutch, and which is pretty incredible. And again, I say it every year that if my dad were diagnosed today, he'd be alive. And the Hutch did give him 3 years of time, and it was time with his grandkids, which were super important to him. And we're really thankful for the Hutch for that experience, no doubt.
Brad, one of the things I want to double down on is the fact that you do this event in part, yes, for your dad, yes, for a good cause, but you run your business differently than most car dealerships because you have always been, as long as I have known you, community first. And you put such an emphasis on helping the people in your community, whether it's the backyard in, right directly where the dealerships are located, or your own personal backyard, or just the Seattle area at large. What do you think other business owners can learn from what you have learned as far as shifting the mindset and putting community first when you think about your marketing? Because that is a marketing strategy that you have that a lot of people don't have, but I've seen it work for you year after year after year. So
I will say that car dealers in general are a very philanthropic, generous group of businesses. I don't know any other business that does it. We use our relationships with our partners to try and maximize the result. And so, I could just write checks everywhere and they would be checks everywhere. But if I can say to Como, we'd really like to partner with this event and make it a better event and get them access to a broader community, that's a greater result. And it didn't cost me any more. It just was me looking at my network going, how do we leverage that for the greater good? And years ago, I wrote a business plan on cause-based marketing. I watched my own behaviors I didn't watch my own behaviors, but I paid attention to my own behaviors. And it was the Yummy yogurt. I think it was Yummy that had the pink ribbon on it right next to the yogurt with no ribbon on it. And I would always grab the pink ribbon yogurt. And I was like, well, the cost is exactly the same. But I made a choice to change my purchase behavior based on the cause they're supporting. And, so I think that was probably the first when I got real serious about it and started to organize it in a fashion that said, if Brotherton's going to be involved, we have to be involved, and so we try to support everybody that asks, and, customers, we do ask, are you currently a customer of the business? Is it a 501c3? We validate the organization. And, if we can't activate an event, or if we can't make a cash donation, we'll donate an auction item for them. So hopefully they have an option where we can donate a car spa where we detail the car and do service work or something like that, so they can try and raise money. But yeah, I think I've had several people buy from us because of the support of something we did, whether it was a school event or a baseball team or, we've kind of whether stakeout or, a golf tournament. I mean, there's been several people who we've been longstanding customers because of our support in the community. And so when you hear that feedback, you get that feedback, it's something you want to continue to do.
One thing, so Celebrity Stakeout started in 2010, but this year, 2015, as you can see, as Brad's fit, he's got all the signatures on the apron.
2025, Libby, you just said
2025, Libby.
Yeah. Oh, I said 20.
I just want to bring you into the current decade if we can.
Yeah, it's my 10-year anniversary this year, so maybe that's what, my whatever. Anyway, 2025. It's now 2025. I have taken us back in time.
You've had babies during stakeout.
I know.
Well, not like during the event.
Not
you've
literally.
been
not in the event.
Yeah.
I have been with child during the event 2 times.
Yes. Yep.
So, but this year, 2025 is a little bit different because it is merging with your good friend Jacob Green's event. Can you tell us?
Yes.
When in his has been a golf tournament and auction and dinner that's been going for decades. So, can you give us just a quick 411 on why these 2 brilliant masterminds have come together as one?
Well, I mean, Jacob's one of those guys that, he walks the walk, right? He gives so much to the community. When he's here, he truly makes a difference. And, he lost his father to cancer. I lost my father to cancer. When I was going through that, he was there for me. He would randomly reach out and just check in. And so I told him about stakeout. He's like, whatever you need, I'm in. And he's one of those guys that truly gives back. And we've supported his golf tournament for years, again, with car sponsorship. So we do hole-in-ones, or we drive his celebrities around, get him to the airport, the hotel, and things like that to try and reduce his expenses. And so there's been a lot of common, obviously the Hutch is our common cause. And with my own cancer last year, and I know we haven't really discussed it, but I had cancer last year, and we had to cancel stakeout. And when I was done, I reached out to Jacob and just asked him, I said, I'd really love to see us do more with our 2 events if we can merge them together. And he was thrilled and on board, and I'm thrilled and on board. And golf is at Newcastle. We have 140 spots, and it sold out in weeks. I don't even think we marketed it.
It wasn't even
it was
promoted,
literally it wasn't promoted. And so next year we're going to have both courses, so we can have double the amount of golfers. And then stakeout is usually about a 300 person event, and we haven't done the big push, and we're already at 400 people, and so that'll eventually sell out, I think, depending how much editing this podcast takes, even maybe before the podcast was released. And so, but you can let your moms know that they're invited. So if they want to come, Jacob and I are like-minded and really want to make a difference in the community. And he's got he's such a generous, kind, and a good friend. And he's just one of those guys that people want to support. And so we really felt that making stakeout his gala and making his golf tournament, our golf tournament, it's merging them together, where we can do a lot more for the community. And the Seahawks came in a big way as supporting this year, and Darren Alger came in a big way this year, and we've been able to people are just saying yes, and so we've had a lot of support, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
So we think it's going to be an incredible event.
It is. The beginning of a beautiful friendship in the middle of the friendship. Isn't that like a movie quote? It's the beginning of a beautiful friendship. I think it's like a gangster movie when they say this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
I was going with gangster, Libby. Do you want to talk in your mafia voice? You want to talk in your mafia voice for a minute?
No, but Gone with the Wind, maybe. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Well,
I think it's like an old, like before our time kind of movie.
We're so young. We would never have seen a movie with that quote. Okay, so what is one piece of advice you'd give to somebody, business owner, or just a business worker, someone who wants to do an event for their community? What's one tip that you would give them if they want to get started on their own event journey?
I mean, I think the first thing I did is I looked at who I could ask to support. And so, I mean, number one, find the cause, right? Find the cause that you're passionate about, because I think passion, no matter what it is, if you're passionate about something, people get inspired by passion. And whether it's the car business or coaching or running an event, I think passion inspires others. And so make sure you're passionate about it. And then for me, I looked at who could I ask to be involved. And so I looked at my network, and that was a really important part to stake out success is that we've got a network that supports and continues to support the event. We've had partners since day one. We've had people that have only missed one event. We've had, so there are people that connect to it. And so, finding that, and as you look at those things, I guess make sure that what you're asking for is within something that they would support. If my main objective is to support cancer, the customers, that, and then, childhood cancers are awful, as we all know. And so if those things are the things that we support, approaching me for Fish and Wildlife, because I just got an email from Fish and Wildlife, wouldn't be, saving the salmon, although I think they're very important, but that's not where I put our
and delicious. They're so good.
And delicious. They're so good. Sustainability. But yeah, so just, I think, and then finding partners and then, delivering on what you say. One of the most frustrating things early on in business was I would get involved with a charitable organization, and the next time I would see them was at the next time they asked. And that's frustrating as a business owner, because you're like, that $1,000 was $1,000. And I know people think that we have all this extra money and we can just throw money around, but no, I want to, that's real money. And, and so I want to have a connection to the success, somehow, of what we did. And I want to have a relationship with that organization so that it's not just one and done, because that's the other piece, is maintaining as you have an event, especially one of this size. We want to maintain those relationships, all year round. So we're talking to our sponsors in February for an event in August, right? So we're thanking them in September and October, and we're celebrating the successes. So everybody feels like the event everybody knows it's still going on, and they still feel a connection to the event all year round.
Mm-hmm.
That's just really good event culture. That's what that is. It's community building at its finest, for sure. Yeah. Well, you can't get in on this year's golf tournament because it's sold out, but there will probably be, maybe there'll still be some tickets left to the event at the Paramount. We will put all of the links in the show notes. And Brad, thank you so much for joining us today in your very fancy apron. Okay, that's a wrap of this episode of Beats Working. If you have an idea or you want to reach out, please email us at info@beatsworking.show. And please remember, every detail matters, every moment counts, and no matter what, the show must go on. Thanks for listening to Beats Working, Winning the Game of Events, where we explore what it takes to make moments unforgettable.
If you're leaving with a little more inspiration, a little more perspective, and a big side ache from all of the laughing at our funny jokes, then we've done our job.
Beats Working is a Work P2P production. If you've enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review us on your favorite podcast platforms.
Your support helps us keep the magic going.